welcome to the latest installment of Tailgate Update. If you were expecting this, then you're in the right place. So this week it's going to be Ryan Besaw, Julie Miller, and myself, Jay Moffitt.
And Doopy, our resident research department
research
in the house.
Right.
Yes.
And this week we're going to be focusing mainly on NFL free agency moves.
Nonsense, yeah.
And Adam Schefter was so busy today that he pretty much broke Twitter by himself. So I know it was supposed to be a cyber attack, according to Elon Musk, but I'm voting for that. Schefter just had a nice bunch of Schefter bombs and people just like blew up the internet. That's what happened. So anyway, we're going to start with the NHL. Ryan, will lead us off.
Sure, Jay. I can do that for you.
Appreciate it.
All right. So the grade 8, Alexander Ovechkin, has scored 886 goal Saturday night. He's 9 shy of the great one. If you remember from last week, every goal he scores up till he breaks the record, and after until he retires is going to pediatric cancer research. So
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
As of last week, the trade deadline happened in the NHL. Some pretty big trades happened. Number one, starting off, the Panthers are getting Brad Marchand from Boston after like a billion years he played there. And all Boston gets back is a 2027 conditional second-round pick for their stable, a Stanley Cup champ. The captain is no longer there anymore, and they just said, "Hey, you're 36, so let's get a second-round pick that's conditional 2 years in advance." So, this is actually coming after 2 years of battling in the playoffs with Florida. Boston did, and Marchand and Boston having the greatest historical season of all time in the NHL history, and then they lose in the first round to the Panthers in 7 games, who were the 8th seed. The Panthers went to the Stanley Cup Finals that year, lost, and then the next year, Boston blows Game 6. They lose in 6. Florida goes on to win the cup. So that that's a mixed reaction in our household because, my dad's a Panthers fan and he cannot stand the Bruins. But all right, Mikko Rantanen, he's going to Dallas along with, he's going to Dallas. Logan Stankoven is going to Carolina in his place, as well as 2 first-round picks in 2026 and 2027, and 2 thirds in 2026 and 2027. Now, upon arrival, the deal was contingent on an extension for Rantanen, and he signed a $96 million deal over 8 years with Dallas upon his arrival.
That's a little lengthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a commitment there. Kind of like those places, like you have to work here for 10 years. If you just want a contract,
the deal was ongoing on trade deadline day, and I was watching it, and it said Mikko Rantanen could be going to Dallas upon extension. The deal is contingent upon an extension, and next thing you know, like an hour later, gone to Dallas, and then 30 minutes later, signs an 8-year deal worth $96 million. It's like, holy shit. They work fast. So Dallas is battling for top spot in the Western Conference, looking to make that push into the Stanley Cup Finals. They came up short last year in the Western Conference Finals to the Oilers. So hopefully this is what puts them over the top, gets them into the finals this year. Charlie Coyle and a 2026 fifth-round pick is going to Colorado for Casey Middlestad and Will Zellers, along with a 2025 second-round pick going back to Boston. So Boston's unloading, and all they got back is freaking picks. Oh, sorry, and Casey Middlestad and Will Zellers. Defenseman Luke Shen, he's going to Winnipeg, and a 2026 second round and a 2027 fourth round is going back to Pittsburgh in return. Dylan Cousins, Dennis Gilbert, and a 2026 second round pick are going to Ottawa for Josh Norris and Jacob Bernard Docker. He's going to They were going to Buffalo. Anthony Bolivier, sorry. He's going to Washington for a 2025 second-round pick going to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh unloaded, and all they got back was pick compensation.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
We had a little sideline noise over here because our research committee decided to try to impale their nose with the end of pen. So that's how we do research around here. Yeah.
I was going to say that's the part of the day you say pencils down.
Brock Nelson is going to Colorado in favor of Colin Ritchie and Oliver Kylington, along with a 2026 first and a 2028 conditional pick. Okay. Kylington actually didn't even suit up. He ended up going to Anaheim later in the day. So he's been traded to Anaheim for future considerations out of the Islanders. So, yeah. Bit of a comical day for that guy.
Yeah, sounds about as logical as the NFL right now.
That's all the big trades that I was wanted to cover tonight. The big one though is Ovi. He's 9 shy. That's gonna be awesome. He's probably gonna get that before the end of the season. And if he doesn't, well, there's always next year. So one way or another, the great one's going down this year.
Sadness. But
Sadness.
it was bound to happen. Julie, you have some NBA moves.
Yeah. Yeah, we're chewing on the pen. Anyway, injuries. Jalen Suggs is out for the rest of the season. He got that knee injury that was supposed to remove some cartilage, but they determined that the recovery is going to take the rest of the season. So, or I don't know if it's the recovery or they need to do something else in there, but the knee is still too junky for go time. And we had Jokic, who has double elbow issues, ankle issue, and potential back issues. He was grabbing his back like me when I try to do like the laundry and sweep the floor and vacuum. You know, and that lower back is just like, I'm out of here. So there's some concern about him not playing today, and they're kind of worried about him being there for the finals or whatever. LeBron popped his hip again. And they said a week or two, but considering he's like 45 and already had a groin injury, we'll see about that. And I think there's one other person, right?
Maybe he pulled again and see it in his face. No reaction to that, Jay? Really?
No.
Yeah, okay, maybe it is just those three. I thought there was a fourth one, but I'm not coming up with it, and our research team is busy. So, yeah, we have Suggs.
Jokic and
Jokic.
LeBron.
Yeah. Oh, and who was the person who got beat up last week? That's who I was thinking of that we talked about.
Kyrie last week.
Right. Okay, that was the fourth person I was thinking of. So
Yeah,
we have
Kyrie
a lot
last
of
week.
So we have a lot of old men getting beat up.
Yeah, and it was ACL with Kyrie, so that will go all the way into next season too.
I'm telling you, I do not think LeBron's going to be back in a week or two. When you're like almost 50 and you have any issue, I can just tell you that in my early 20s, how I heal versus right now is like a complete difference. I can only imagine if you're magnifying that by being an athlete and also being like much older. I think a week or two is a pipe dream. But anyways, what do I know?
Yeah, he does have access to like crazy good doctors and stuff like that too. So
and Jokic is like, I think he's younger, right? He's probably only like 40, and so he'll probably be out there for the next 10 years.
Yeah, but I mean, LeBron does in his house have that like $1 million cryo chamber, so it's kind of a different animal than your usual, minimum salary vet.
Okay, but if it was going to work, then you wouldn't have gotten a repeat groin injury, so.
Well, from a year or two ago, yeah.
It was 2 years ago, but I mean,
I'm just saying, like, you can't make the body, like, he can't get a whole new groin, so, like.
True.
And there's only so much you can do to patch up before everything kind of. And, like, we're talking about very tall people, and that puts a lot of stress on all of your body parts, including like your heart, circulatory system, every single part of it. It's harder because the body's really not designed to be that large, and like often there's like a pituitary gland issue or something like that. So it's really kind of they generally would struggle in regular life even if they weren't an athlete. So there's general concerns about health, and and they
Makes sense.
usually die younger, because it's harder for the heart to do what it needs to do for long periods of time and everything. So adding being an athlete to that is complicated.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes
Does make sense.
a lot of joint issues and stuff, because their limbs are so long.
We're going to go straight into NFL free agency today.
I was about ready to pull my hair out in the last couple of days.
I mean, today especially though, it's like every 30 minutes or an hour I look up.
I know, it's crazy.
I know. I was busy for a couple hours, and now I'm finding out all these things.
They did this shit last year too. Like, as soon as the freaking clock struck noon, they're like, "Hey, pen to paper, let's go."
Yeah, and lots of actual legitimate rumors out yesterday before the tampering period was over. So I think you got a pretty good list, Ryan. So why don't you hit us up with a couple of them?
So before I get into that, I want to talk about Tank Dell for 1 second. I didn't get to talk about it last week, but last Wednesday he had surgery to repair his torn ACL that he tore back in December, and catching a touchdown, mind you, against the Chiefs. This is the second surgery, I believe, on his knee. He had surgery to repair other ligaments after suffering a season-ending injury, like I said, in December. He tore his ligaments and dislocated his kneecap in Week 16. He's expected to miss most of the 2025 season. So they're thinking he's going to be back by, like, the end of the season.
He's on a rough go after getting. Now he has this ACL thing. Like, somebody send Tank Dell a better guardian angel or something.
I don't see him coming back this year. Like, I don't understand how they can say he's going to come back this year.
Well, having surgery. Young, so.
Yeah, well, Adrian Peterson destroyed his knee, and he was back in 9 months. But like, he's a freak.
Yeah, he is.
His kid is currently like the best 13-year-old running back in the country, from what I understand.
All right. So the Bears last week traded for Joe Thuney from KC for a 2026 fourth-round pick. They also traded for Jonah Jackson from the Rams for a 2025 sixth-round pick. So they're really bolstering that line. They made more moves today that we'll talk about in a little bit. The Bills are cutting Von Miller after that giant contract they gave him in 2022.
Really?
However, they are willing to bring him back at a cheaper price.
Oh my god!
So I saw today.
When they do that.
Now I know the reasoning. I saw today, as of today, the Bills have the least amount of cap room in the NFL with negative 1.1 million in the hole. So they are broke. Yet they were able to give Joshua Allen a giant record-breaking deal, which we'll start talking about our free agency signings and extensions and such right now.
Ready, set, go!
Bills are signing Josh Allen to a 6-year, $330 million extension, which includes $250 million guaranteed, which is a record-setting deal. Mind you, he had 4 years left on his deal already, which puts him through 2030 somehow. I don't get it. He's a Bill lifer, okay? He's not leaving unless they decide they're going to trade him or cut him or whatever. The defending MVP he's here to stay in Buffalo. So all you Buffalo Wild Wings fans and such, get your tables, do the plunge in the Erie River. Whatever. Do whatever you got to do. Lake Erie, have at it. Celebrate this signing.
I'm just disgusted.
You're disgusted?
Yeah, have we not learned anything about taking slightly smaller contracts so you can actually have people to play around you? Anyway, whatever. Yeah. What do I know? Who cares about Von Miller? Blah, blah, blah.
Dallas is signing safety Marquise Bell to a 3-year, $12 million contract. The Rams are signing Devontae Adams to a 2-year, $46 million contract with $26 million guaranteed and $2 million in incentives.
Are you excited about that?
I don't know what to make of it because I know this is Cooper Cup's replacement, and it's sad that he's leaving. But I've been,
Yeah.
preparing myself for every day. My phone goes off with ESPN notification. I'm like, this is it. This is it. Cooper Cup's gone. This is it.
Mhm.
And no, well, it's more of a reality now because today they said they're releasing him if they cannot find a trade partner when the new year league hits. So this is it. He played in two systems that were god awful, horrible cultures, bad quarterback play.
And he was rather gracious about that most of the time.
He didn't like the fact that Jimmy G was throwing him hospital balls in Vegas, but yet Jimmy G's now his backup quarterback.
But like I'm just saying,
So-
when he could have dragged them, he kind of
Yeah.
kept it on the DL, even though we all saw it. But he didn't
Mhm.
like. He's not like poison in the locker room. Like he'll take it quietly and then just move along. So like I think
I mean, he won't be vocal like a Chad Ochocinco would, or
yeah.
like a OBJ, but like he's
Oh hell no.
but he'll throw some jabs out there, but like subtle.
Yeah.
Speaking of bad cultures, the Jets bringing back middle linebacker Jamie Sherwood, 3-year, $45 million contract with $30 million guaranteed. Sticking with the middle linebacker theme, the Seahawks are doing something right, and they're signing Ernest Jones to a 3-year, $33 million contract with $15 million guaranteed, and they're bringing back defensive tackle Jaron Reed on 3
most
years.
people are holding on. Most Seahawks fans are clutching onto those things like it's the Mona Lisa. Just like there's
years.
something.
3 years, $25 million.
I was
3
supposed to
years,
say,
$25 million. There we
if
go.
you're clutching onto the Mona Lisa, chances are you're going to get tased.
Oh yeah, the velvet rope. Not supposed to touch Mona
In
Lisa.
our
But
minds.
come on.
No,
It's
you
giving us
cannot.
a little hope, little peace in a dark time.
I kind of feel bad for you this offseason, but at
Yeah,
the
you
same
should.
time, good for me. Good for me.
I mean, you're talking to her about whether the moves that her team is making are good or not. And you don't get to talk to me at all about the Titans because literally they're playing dead like a dog that's well trained.
Yeah, the Titans do nothing.
They've done nothing. They resigned two guys that I didn't even know were on the roster. They were so far down the depth chart.
They might have asked Will Levis how his day went.
Is that better or worse? To see like everything go down in flames, or just know that everything will be as bad as last time?
Well,
I
they
don't
they
know.
they signed for the Titans. They at least re-signed. They signed the a left guard that can block a little bit. That's about
Oh,
it.
that's good.
Yeah, I saw that today. Yeah.
You do need
I
those.
mean, left tackle. Yeah, left tackle. The guy protecting the blind side.
Yeah.
Yeah. He came from Indy, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I forget his
He-
name.
yeah, and but he was ranked, I think, fourth Pro Football Focus or something on
Okay.
pass protection. So
So
that
you
would
two
prove
are
about
holding on to a couple more defensive like positions instead of
yeah, except for the ones that are good, and then we just release them with no compensation.
yeah.
We don't need draft picks.
Yeah, kind of like trading for Ernest Jones and then trading him within like 2 weeks.
How does
Yeah,
that mean we don't need a wide receiver? Apparently, just
We'll get
Yeah.
there. We'll get there, Julie. I'm letting you ease into it. Okay.
blow.
The Vikings bringing back Aaron Jones, their touchdown seeking missile. 2 years, $20 million with $13 million guaranteed. Nick Bolton staying at Arrowhead, 3 years, $45 million, $30 million guaranteed.
Quick
Pretty big.
question.
What's
Quick
up?
question. Who's going to be throwing to that Thunderbolt in Minnesota?
JJ McCarthy, baby. Come on.
Oh my God.
JJ McCarthy is going to be throwing lasers right
So he's
to Aaron Jones.
going to be getting right up off the bench after a year of watching.
Yep.
He wasn't even healthy enough to hold a clipboard.
He didn't have to. O'Connell does that.
Okay. Okay.
Daniel
That's
Jones
all right.
is out
McCarthy.
there. I mean, they can bring him back, I guess.
Oh,
If they really want to. Nick Mullins is gone, so they really have no quarterback except for JJ McCarthy on the roster right now. But anyways,
take a fork at me because I'm.
Where was Kansas City keeping their linebacker. Good for them. Cool. Whatever. Be gone. Arizona's re-signing linebacker Baron Browning to a 2-year, $15 million contract. The big one over the weekend, Cleveland bringing back the Sack Reaper. He's extended Myles Garrett, $40 million per year, $123.5 million guaranteed, signed through 2030, highest paid non-QB in the league. I think it's in history actually. Includes a no trade clause. No trade clause. So
look, any man who beats a man with his own helmet on the
deserves
field.
that money. He deserves that money.
Hell yeah.
He's going. He's.
He got into a serious car accident. He's like, wait, you're making me take time off?
Yeah.
He's like a cyborg or something. I will never have anything to say about Myles Garrett.
He's a beast, man.
Negatively, yeah. He won my admiration forever after his little helmet heyday.
I really thought he was going to get traded when they said he had permission to seek a trade. I was like, oh, he's out.
Yeah, me too.
And he was like he actually asked for permission to seek a trade.
But like I'm saying, if you're going to get that money, you're going to stick around. Like that would make me turn right around.
Well, Cleveland wonders why they can't compete. They have a quarterback that they just restructured who was making ungodly amounts of money to do absolutely nothing. And they just traded for Kenny Pickett to be his backup.
And his hands aren't even big enough for the football.
I can't tell you anybody other than Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward on that defense. David Njoku. Who's their receivers? I don't even know. Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I know I'll come up with one. Did they have Amari Cooper, but aren't they trading him?
He's a free agent right now. He was in Buffalo at the end of the year last year. He's a free agent now.
Oh, whatever. Okay, fine.
Yeah, okay,
but they didn't even throw to him. That was the craziest thing.
They couldn't throw to him.
That wasn't one name that came up. And he's not even there.
Deshaun was too busy thinking about other things, and his arm was shot.
No, but I mean with Buffalo. He went to Buffalo at the trade deadline, and they never threw it to him hardly.
They kind of he was like the secret weapon, like he's there. Just pay attention to him because we might use him. That was kind of he was like a decoy type thing, and it almost got him to the Super Bowl. So I mean, whatever.
Well, I mean, I'm just tired of like the Buffalo system being like hallowed, like they're the Holy Grail and the. They were the Holy Grail that would have finally made it to the Super Bowl by now. But I was going to say they never blamed Josh Allen for anything. But
that's unfair. That's unfair.
But like Buffalo, they just give the system all the credit, and they'll give Josh Allen any credit.
Well, they certainly did with.
He is the system.
They certainly did with that contract. Shit.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, he is the system there. I just how I feel about their offensive coordinator. I don't like it. I don't like his play calling.
That's Arthur Smith?
No. What? No, that's Joe Brady.
Joe Brady, okay.
Where is Arthur Smith anyways?
I don't know. He's somewhere, but he's not there, I guess.
Yeah. Panthers are making J.C. Horn the highest paid DB in history with a 4-year, $100 million contract with $70 million guaranteed. Good for J.C. Good for you. Rams are going to be adding center Coleman Shelton to that offensive line. I don't know what that means for Bo Leamer, but hopefully that means there's going to be a competition because somebody needs to learn how to pick up blocks. I think it's Leamer. It's spelled like Limmer, but like I feel like it's Leamer.
I like that. Look, Lemurs are cute.
They are. Also, the Rams are adding defensive tackle Puna Ford from the Chargers. He just signed for just under $30 million over 3 years. Are you ready to talk about the next one, Julie?
Yeah.
Okay. Sam Darnold is going to Seattle. 3 years, $110.5 million with $55 million guaranteed. Holy crap. That contract is ridiculous.
And for all those fans at the game and on the line who are like, oh, finally we're done with Geno Smith, we should be excited. I'm really excited to see you cry when he's eating the grass repeatedly with no O-line. And then sometimes hallucinating sacks.
Oh,
Okay.
seeing ghosts. Seeing ghosts.
Seeing ghosts on and off the field, this man is half in this world and half in the next one. So I'm like, look, people have some stuff to say about Geno. Look at this quarterback market nightmare that we have working. And now you got Sam Darnold.
So my question is though, like he did have a decent season, a really good season last
Yeah,
year.
one.
35 touchdowns. One. Okay, that was his first year in an actual competent system.
Inconsistent at the end.
He only had 4 losses, and they came to the same 2 teams.
Okay. But still, like he flopped at the end.
I know he did what Minnesota does best. He
So
fit right in. I don't know why they didn't bring him back. He fits right in.
So, like, one season that he did well in doesn't exactly give me the warm and fuzzies, especially when he
I
has
agree.
one person to throw it to.
No, I agree with you. I'm saying like he's
fuck him.
he's not a terrible
I
quarterback.
don't know why they afflicted me like this. What did I do to them? But you know what? I think this is just a continuation of them getting the karma that they deserve for making a lot of bad decisions. So I will sit back and watch.
I was going to say, I mean, until like week 5 or 6, people were actually mentioning Darnold in the MVP conversations.
Yeah, we always have that odd duckling in the MVP
Yeah, and
conversation
this
the first
year-
month, 2 months.
And he had a good team in Minnesota. It doesn't seem like we're going to have shit. So what makes us think that we're going to...
It's the first day of free agency, Julie.
New head coach. He is really on my bad side. And I need you to pull that together or leave.
So
Like, not only did he get rid of all these people, but then he brought in Sam Darnold,
got rid of Geno for picks.
which no one saw coming. Not a single
Oh, literally,
soul.
I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, they already announced, like, they had a video already on their YouTube page about, like, the next season, and he was in it.
I literally I heard rumors. I didn't know how true they were. Like, oh, Geno is gone out of Seattle. They want to move on. They want to upgrade. I don't believe they upgraded. I think they kind of got the same.
So.
I think they got
year. Like, what they deserve is for him to, and I don't wish this on him because I don't hate Sam despite how I sound, but he's probably like, I kind of hope he does what he normally does, because to give up somebody that you know will perform a certain way with no O-line, which needs to be considered the fact that he's never really had one, and then now we're bringing in somebody who did well for 1 year.
To be fair, though, this is his first year in a competent system, Julie.
I don't give a shit.
Well, how can you hold playing in New York for as long as he did against him? I'm just saying, like, it's his first year in a competent.
We had a competent quarterback that did well in our situation, who thrived in a really shitty spot, and we threw him away so that we can get somebody who's probably going to end up eating the grass.
Yeah, I mean, at least Geno was pretty mobile for his age.
Yeah, and he's consistent. We know what we get. And if we would get better if we were building up our O-line. But why would we do that when we could get... You guys
haven't had an O-line in like 10 years.
Literally. Russell Wilson is one of the most sacked quarterbacks because he never had one. We haven't had one in like 15 years. Like, maybe we try that.
I don't.
Because you know what you could get with Geno Smith with an incompetent O-line. Imagine what you could get if you had a good O-line. But no, we need to get Ghost Man.
He might surprise you.
I don't dislike him. I'm not trying to, like, I do, but I mean, being a redhead is not a good enough reason. But, like, I just feel like they keep doing people on the franchise wrong who don't deserve it. And that's going to come back to you, okay? Because karma doesn't wait for nobody, even business.
I was going to say just the one thing. I mean, both of those guys are top 12 or 15 quarterbacks. I mean, undoubtedly.
Yeah, for last year, but if you went to the year before that.
Sam was a backup.
Yeah, I was fixed to say, when you played, he was not great. But, I mean, if you play like 2 or 3 games out of a 17-game system, you're not really integrated into the system. I was just going to say he's 5 years younger, and 3 years sounds like a long time, but in quarterback years, that's a short contract for a quarterback.
It is. And he might get traded after year one. He might get traded after year two. He might even be released. You don't know.
Right.
There might be a better option
And who's
coming
the
up.
backup? Do we know that? It wasn't Drew Lock. It was
Drew Lock's in New York.
Yeah.
Last year it
that was
was.
the year before last that we got punished with Drew Lock.
Gino didn't really get hurt, so I
No,
didn't
we had
know.
somebody else. I remember it because it was just straight up pain and misery. Because Gino was out for like one game with that one injury. Who was he?
Sam Howell.
Yes. Yes. And he threw as many interceptions as he made passes, and none of it was good.
As he made passes.
Which, I mean, Gino has a similar stat, actually, but it just looks really bad on Howell. I mean, Howell, it was like, God, it was worse than Drew Lock. I didn't even know that was possible.
You really do not like Drew Lock.
And he was the bane of my misery. It was like every second was like 12 years watching that kind of hellhole until like the last like game or two he decided to switch it up and was like really good, and I was like, so like, yeah, thanks for the shock, but anyway, yeah, he was so bad. There's no words except Sam Howell is a good reference for how bad that was.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking maybe you should show some gratitude for a team that at least tries to get a quarterback. Our team had a quarterback in
Look, your team
Nashville.
sucks, my team sucks. They both suck and they're both stupid.
But think about this. They had a choice, and they said, let's give a long-term deal to Ryan Tannehill and just release for nothing Derrick Henry.
Let's give Ryan Tannehill an extension for throwing for 88 yards in the playoffs.
And the guy that ran for 200, let's just let him go because allegedly he's old.
I hear you.
Yeah, and even though LeBron shows that it's just a number if you're taking care of yourself.
Except
Allegedly.
for when your groin pops. But, and I hear you on that. I think they're both incompetent, just in different ways.
I agree with you. I mean, I'm hoping that this year, with two quarterbacks at the top of the draft, they'll at least pick one of them, because the way I look at it is, people talk about you can get a really good edge rusher, okay? But they don't talk about edge rushers with whether they're the GOAT or not for how many Super Bowls they have. But they do quarterbacks, okay?
Right.
If you miss on quarterback, go in 2 or 3 years, take another shot. You can buy an edge rusher.
Well,
a good quarterback, nobody's letting get away.
Look how long Arizona's held on to Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
That dude probably should be on his last legs.
But he's a top 15 dude. You hold on to the guys that are top half of the league.
Because they may not be great, but at least you know what you're expecting, and you hope that if you give them more targets, they'll do better, which is what we were doing, which was a really sound idea.
Ryan, you got something else we could talk about?
Yeah, Justin Fields is going to the Jets for 2 years.
Has he coached the game, Julie?
Yeah, I was hoping that Aaron Rodgers would come over so that he could help him out with the coaching gig. But
you mean get him fired?
Well, no, I was saying he was going to mentor him on how to be a good coach, but that too.
Okay, let's talk about
5 games into the season.
Let's talk about Aaron.
I would not mind that either.
Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers' replacement in New York. Okay, Justin Fields gets way overpaid. 2 years, $40 million, $30 million guaranteed. I don't see that. No, that's
insane.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's something.
He's been a backup quarterback for 2 years now. Come on.
Yeah.
How are you getting $40 million for going 4-2 and pretty much being carried by your defense in that stretch? Like, I don't get that at all. But whatever. That's New York. They like doing that stupid shit.
But I mean, like, Justin. Hell, I would want Justin more than the guy I got.
Oh, here we go.
Like, so I'm like, maybe I don't think he's a terrible pick, and maybe he can turn some stuff around.
No.
I don't
I mean,
know.
he'll be
It's-
better than Old Man Rogers, who was floundering like a fish.
but he's going into the same situation that Rodgers had.
Yeah.
No receivers, bad defense, no offensive line, and a decent running back who might get hurt.
And Justin is a running back, basically. So
Pretty
you
much.
already have
So
one.
yeah, like
Is it? Yeah, it's. And look, he can't do well anywhere where they're not going to improve. The Jets are just as bad as the Seahawks or the Titans, but like
I
maybe,
don't know.
maybe I don't think he's that bad. I think he's actually fairly decent.
Justin can be all right, but like I don't see him being the guy that's going to turn that franchise around.
I think that'd be a very difficult thing that not even Old Man Rogers could do. And if anybody could do it, it would be the coaching quarterback duo dynamic person.
If you really think about it, Rodgers only had 1 year in New York,
Yeah.
so he didn't
Yeah.
really have time to turn things around.
And I don't hate. I would have preferred Rodgers. I literally would have. I already said that, and I meant it. I would have preferred to have Rodgers for sure. And like again, he could help with the morale because I feel like he's the kind of person who can change a locker room or try. But the Jets are so like bad
Dysfunctional.
that he couldn't even try to clean that up. So
They have a terrible culture, and a lot of players have actually said that, like former
a
players.
lot, yeah.
But Arizona keeps bolstering that defense though, and that's really irritating a little bit. Defensive end Josh Sweat's going to Arizona on 4 years,
Nice.
76 million, 41 million guaranteed.
I've always
think
kind
that-
of hoped for the Cardinals. I'm like, you can do it, guys. They were leading the division there for a little while. I'm like, you do not have to be fourth every time. You know,
Oh,
I
think-
believe in you.
I think
When-
it's an underpay. I think he's a huge
Yeah,
piece for them. Yeah.
Mm.
you don't really see Arizona picking up them free agents very much though. Like they're
No,
not
but that guy's
trendy.
huge.
But
They're
it could be a
not-
good thing.
they're not a sexy destination for free agents really. To be honest with you, the Arizona Cardinals are kind of like, where are they going? What are they going to do?
They're like
Going
kind of
up?
forgettable, like the Colts. It's like, oh, they're still here.
Are they going up? Are they going down? Are they just going to stay the same? Like, what?
Yeah, there's very little expectation that they'll do anything exciting ever.
They look like a freaking lifeline. Boop.
But maybe
Oof.
maybe they're trying something new.
I think
I
this
don't know.
I think this alters their franchise. I think this is huge.
Really?
Yeah, that guy, he was the best part of the Eagles defense, and their defense was the best part of,
Mhm.
I mean, it's been 3, 4 years since I've watched a team win the Super Bowl, and I thought, oh, it was their defense. I think that may have been the first time Kansas City did it. Might have been the last time I thought, oh, the defense won the championship for them.
Mhm.
But the Eagles, they just dominated with their defense. Jalen Hurts was okay, but he's not like a top 5 quarterback.
Oh, don't tell Philly fans that.
Don't
Okay.
tell Philly fans much. Okay, we see what they do. They
They-
ride ambulances and climb up poles,
They
so just leave them
Throw
alone.
snowballs at Santa Claus. So
Yeah. I haven't been to Philly, even though it's not that far away. I think I'll stay away from that little destination.
Yeah.
okay, so the Patriots are making
Hmm.
moves instead of trying to protect Drake May or give him a receiver. They're giving him a defense. Carlton Davis is signing a 3-year deal worth $60 million. 34.5 is fully guaranteed. Good for him. Leaving Detroit, leaving the NFC North for cold New England.
I don't know if there's that big of a difference, right, with Detroit and.
Well, you
There
play
will
in
be
a you play in a dome for at least 8 games a year.
True. I was like, there'll be less wind, but that might not.
But then
Sometimes wind chill isn't.
you go from playing a dome at least 8 games a year. Actually, you got at least 10 games a year because you have 8 home games. and you got
Minnesota,
Minnesota.
that's 9.
At least 9. Yeah. So then you
Talk it
go
up.
to the AFC East and you got Buffalo outside, you got New York
Oh
outside.
my God,
You're
Miami.
outside. Miami's
Miami.
in sunny in Miami, so good for that.
Yeah.
But you sweat your ass off because the sun's always beating on you.
Okay, because I can confirm that too hot is as bad as too cold. I have been on both spectrums in my
Me too.
life.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm trying to work out when it's like I see in New Orleans, it would be like 90 plus degrees in the middle of summer, and you'd still see the high school boys running. Like,
Mhm.
like I hope one of them don't drop. Like, no, that's its own special hell.
Yeah. Let's see here. Baker Mayfield is getting his weapon back. Well, one of his
Baker.
weapons, Chris Godwin, staying in
Yay.
Tampa. He took 20 million less to stay in Tampa.
Aw.
I can't
Wow.
remember. I can't remember the place that was offering him 20 million more, but like he was like, no, I'm staying in Tampa. So he signed 66 million, 44 million guaranteed over 3 years to stay in Tampa Bay.
Oh, that's
Liam,
nice. Maybe
Liam
he likes
Cohen's
it
gone. His offensive coordinator from last year's gone. He's now in Duval, trying to be cool like everybody else. But so we'll see what happens coming off that dislocated ankle, and I think he broke his leg too. That was disgusting. But anywho, Khalil Mack back in LA for 1 year, $18 million fully guaranteed contract. DK Metcalf was traded from Seattle to Pittsburgh. This one gets me a little bit. He said, "Trade me to a contender in a warm area."
there.
Seattle said, "Nah, bro, you're going to Pittsburgh with no QB situation, and it's cold."
It'll
And then
help
he said,
it'll help that hot head of his to stay.
and then he said,
Cool.
"All right, cool. You know what? Just to spite you guys, I'm gonna sign a 5-year extension worth $150 million."
Mm-hmm. Get him where it hurts, because these fuck them for that.
Who's going to be in Pittsburgh next year?
They said Aaron Rodgers, right? That's
I don't know.
the
Hopefully, the
theory.
entire roster. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're not. There's too many moving pieces there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
as of right now, they don't have a quarterback, to my
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yeah.
They
don't.
there are rumors that Rodgers is linked to them, and they're strongly considering it and very close to a deal. I don't know how true that
Okay.
is. There's also ties to Rodgers being in the Giants and whatever.
Yeah, right now it's still kind of the quarterback roulette. Where will they land?
Yeah.
But I'm happy for DK. He deserves better.
Deserves better. Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, he deserves better than that fucking.
Good. You get it out.
I think it's best I don't.
Okay, let's move on then. DK and George Pickens is actually going to be pretty cool, to be honest. Depending on who the quarterback.
I don't know if it matters.
It does matter. If they can't throw on the ball, it's going
Well,
to be.
I know it, Dad, but they're gonna pick somebody who can. There's only a small list.
It's Mike Tomlin and it's Pittsburgh. They don't exactly like good QB play after Big Ben left. So
It's been a while. Yeah.
Russ, he was pretty good. Russell was last year.
Yes,
pretty good.
everybody seems to have forgotten that. He's fine at throwing. And Aaron Rodgers had a rough season. I don't think that reflects on him as much as it does the Jets. Either one of them would do fantastic with those two.
Has Russell signed with anyone yet?
No,
he's
and
still a
he
free
has
agent.
ties to like the Giants and the Titans. So,
But I was going to add there's still that Russell Wilson DK Metcalf connection.
I would die.
Yeah.
I would. So okay, some Seahawk fans who are not aligned with me are thinking that that's so funny because they'll be reunited and like blah blah blah. Everybody hates Russ. But I think it would be cute.
And Russell's girlfriend, wife, introduced DK to his girlfriend.
That he cheats on a lot.
Normani. I have no idea about that. I just know what I've read on NFL websites. I don't go outside of that.
Yeah, just is that really helping a girl out? But anyway, whatever.
Yeah, I never read TMZ because I can't find the website. I can't spell it.
Look, I appreciate that DK Metcalf showed up to Tyler Lockett's wedding in shorts, so he's cool in my book.
Okay.
And don't get me started on Tyler Lockett either. And Schneider's like, oh, well, we might take you back for less money. And I'm like, fuck you and everything you stand for. And I hope he doesn't.
Okay, now that we've gotten through the Seattle dismantle, all the blowing up over there in Seattle.
And some people are really excited, and I think it's probably It must be the moss. It must be the moss growing in their brains from all the rain. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah, it's something. Too much coffee, something in the water, I don't know.
We gotta talk about the Niners.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
do it.
cool.
The Niners,
Love the
just
Niners.
the dismantling of that roster is actually bringing me joy.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Hufunga, Talanoa of Hufunga going to Denver. 3 years, 45 million, up to 45 million. Excuse me, 20 million guaranteed.
We're believers over
Is
here.
he worth that? Is he worth that? Like, he's a decent safety, but like, is he worth up
I
to
think
45?
so. We'll see, but I think he's up there.
Man, I don't know. He's decent safety. I don't think he's worth up 45 million though.
Well,
But whatever. That's
Can-
Denver's thing.
Can I add a San Francisco note? Okay,
Have at it,
they
man. Have at it.
re-signed Patrick Taylor Jr. for a 1-year contract.
I heard about
So,
that. Yeah,
running back, yeah. So basically, Patrick Taylor Jr., Antonio Gibson, okay, Tony Pollard, and Calvin Austin III, all in the same backfield 5 years ago for the University of Memphis.
No
all
kidding.
still in the NFL.
Cool.
you come up with this
Well, I
stuff.
mean, think about that. You can't name like a Bama team or a Ohio State team or any team that has 4 members of a backfield
I can't name any team, period.
5 years later. But you know what I mean? That's just
Bam-
weird. That's freaky.
Bama usually like produces wide receivers.
You need to
Yeah.
write articles about this stuff, Jay, because nobody else thinks like this, and I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it's the short circuiting. Yeah.
So Troy Polamalu Jr. is going to Denver for 3 years with that nice little flow he's got going on. Dude, we have so many candidates for Head and Shoulders commercials in the future. Like,
Okay, I'm just gonna say though, I know for Tony and probably other people, like it's a cultural thing to have
Yeah.
like long hair.
I know.
Obviously not all of them. I mean, like your Puka's like Mormon, so I think that overrides it because you need to have your hair a certain length. But for it's a thing of pride, so I get it. Like I'm just saying, and Tua doesn't really grow his hair out either, so like it's not everybody don't buy into it, but a lot of people, So
isn't Puka like from like an Islander type thing? Like
he's Samoan, I thought.
is he Samoan? Yeah.
Yeah. So is Tony.
Now, do you have to be Mormon to go BYU?
Yeah.
Do you really? Oh, well,
It would be really uncomfortable if you didn't, and you're probably gonna get kicked out. I think you have to have like a temple recommend or something. I don't know. It would be hard.
Okay. Anywho, Washington's trading for Laramie Tunzel to protect Jaden Daniels. Houston's getting pick compensation back. Detroit signing DJ Reed, 3-year deal, $48 million. And another signing I thought was pretty big. Josh Palmer is leaving the Chargers to go to nice Buffalo to be a target for Josh Allen. 3
Everybody's
years.
talking about the Bosa brothers. You mentioned the Chargers, and that came.
Oh, yeah, Joey Bosa has been released.
Yeah.
So
Where's
I
he gonna
don't-
land?
if San Francisco's smart, then I wouldn't give it anything to him.
That sounds like a mess, but
Just because his brother's there does not mean you should give him money.
I mean, you really only need one Bosa in any one location. They can be a lot.
And they're both getting hurt a lot lately too. So like,
Yeah.
why double your pain?
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. But
Just accept your fate and go to the 4th spot in the NFC West.
Okay.
Go by.
What's Ryan? What's the last 3 or 4 huge ones we have?
Last 3 or 4 huge ones? Oh, Chavarius Ward's going to Indianapolis, so he's leaving San Francisco.
Okay. Okay.
Was there another one that we?
No. I didn't know. I was not counting off your list how far down the list you are.
Oh, Josh Palmer was the last one. It's 3 years, $36 million. So somebody can
Nice.
stretch the field to
Yeah,
go
I feel
along
like
with Shakir.
I feel like Palmer, you don't always. He's sort of an unsung. We don't really know what he's capable of, so maybe he'll get some more.
Oh, Gus Edwards has been released out of the Chargers as well. So Justin Herbert has no one to throw to.
Well, I know that problem.
Yeah, because Having
have
JSN
one.
is terrible. Yeah, you have one, and the Chargers have big old goose egg.
They really don't have anybody. Okay.
They
And I
have
believe this is
nobody.
supposed to be like a very bad wide receiver class, right?
No, I thought it was a really good one.
Oh,
I
okay.
I think it's
I
gonna
heard
be
it
defensive
was really
heavy.
strong.
Defensive heavy, yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
that.
I heard it was a really strong wide receiver. That's why they said that these older wide receivers shouldn't be too picky because they're going to have a lot of draft opportunities. But I don't
Okay.
know. That's just what I
Listen,
heard.
all I know is this draft class, like every other one, is gonna be the same. Bad quarterbacks. That's all I know.
Hmm.
Yeah, the quarterbacks are always overdrafted, but I
Hmm.
mean, they're only predicting two in the first round this year. So that's historically
Yeah.
low if that's true.
And I saw that. Yeah, I was looking at the draft order today, and I was like, "There's only 3 teams, maybe 4, that might draft somebody in the first round for quarterback." And as of right now, it looks like Cam Ward is the only one going in the top 5. And some people's mock drafts, I don't believe he's a top 5 pick, but whatever.
Yeah, I believe if he's still there at 4, 5, or 6, that somebody will trade up.
Well, they're thinking the Giants will take him at 3.
Wow,
I believe.
that's his
So-
own special version of hell too. Yeah, we will. We all know we heard the OBJ news. We will get into that more as more details come out. I think he was a little relatively unscathed, and because the comedian guy that was named with him really got slammed.
Drewski?
Yeah. Oh, she knew it was him because of his weight, and he was oiling people and stuff. Like they went in on him. I'm like, OBJ, you got lucky, man. Like. Drewski got dragged. Not that any of this is a good thing, but I'm saying, like, OBJ got it easy. He didn't get all those extra details. It was like, oh Lord. But anyway, this is a good prep because he'll be the first of many. So they gotta like make sure that they integrate people in slow because it's hard. Yeah, so this is just the first one. So, let's keep an eye on things. And I'm just gonna state the obvious that just because one lawsuit doesn't work in the favor of someone and they feel like, oh, now we're free, there's probably gonna be like 5 behind it of other people. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. So, just sit back and watch, all right? Just sit back and watch.
Wow. Thank you for that insight.
Yeah,
Sitting back and watching.
there's more.
Let's see where the cookie crumbles. Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't know about this particular person, but I'm sure there's a group behind her that could probably say similar things and be so one of them will stick. But
Yeah,
allegedly, maybe.
I did like the lawyer's tack of Drewski, who
Oh
said
my
that
God.
7 years ago he was not important enough to blackmail.
Why
Which
did
is
they
a brilliant stretch. He says, nobody knew me. I was a fat, unknown comic. Nobody would have any incentive to try to blackmail me or set me up at 7
Yeah.
years ago. I was poor and unknown.
Well,
That's a great defense.
apparently you were well known enough to be there, so that's something. Because they really only invite people who are mean something. Where he snuck in, but boy, did they really go out after him. I'm like, stop it.
Yeah, I agree with you. OBJ was very lucky because there's been some
Yeah.
redacted stuff out on the internet that's just like,
Well,
oh my God, what they're accusing it of is insane.
Yeah. Mm-mm-mm. But just brace yourself because we're not even close to where we're gonna end up. So just
Okay.
Drewski will be nothing. All right.
So be sure to bring your popcorn oil.
Oh God.
Ew.
When I'm telling you, I had a quick visual.
Come on! Come on! Come on! Come on! I can't believe y'all are still sitting when I said that. Okay, go ahead. Just
No,
just
because
go
when
ahead
I-
and just go ahead and boycott my standing ovation I deserved. Okay.
No, when I read that part, I had a visual and it was not a good one. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah.
Were we supposed to pop Jay or?
No, it was
Oh.
it was. I'm not going to explain it. You can read some of the redacted
Oh God,
transcripts.
why?
Oh Lord.
The imagery that they
Okay.
painted on that poor man. No, I take that back. Not a poor man at all. But I'm just saying the way that they really explained that situation was vivid and not forgiving.
No.
And OBJ just glides past because he's a fit
Ah,
wide receiver who doesn't love
I'm
Will.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. Just glides past. No, no, Julie, no.
Glides past who
I'm
we don't know.
way over here. I'm
We
way
don't know
over
who
here.
he's gliding into. Well, no, we do. We know one person allegedly. Anyway, yep.
Way over
So,
here.
I guess we can wrap it up with that fun little.
That sounds good. It sounds like it's time to escape.
But you can't, Jay, because there's more coming. Oil or lawsuits or both.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. So Ryan, any last words as we circle around?
So one little fun tidbit.
Okay.
Ovi actually has the most empty net goals in NHL history. 57.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That would be
all I
so
got.
fun if you broke the record on empty netter.
I was thinking the same thing. But another thing, I was watching, saw the highlights of the Ducks and Islanders game last night, and the Ducks were up 3-0 in the third period, and Patrick Waugh, coaching the Islanders,
yes, Patrick. Woo! I remember him back in the day.
he pulled their goalie with 11 minutes left in the game.
I don't care. I love Patrick Waugh. Don't you dare talk about him for 1 minute.
That's hilarious.
And the Ducks quickly potted an empty net goal to make it 4-0, and they ended up winning 4-1.
Don't you talk about Patrick.
That's so funny. Yeah, I've got nothing else. I'm Ajax Allen at on your Twitter machine.
Yep, it's Miller Crime. I wrote a thought-provoking article about my experience at Madison Square Garden. In case the podcast segment wasn't good enough, I have heard it being described as cute, which is not often. I get called a bitch more times than cute, so that is.
Oops. Sorry.
Well, no, it happened today when I was just leaving my car, and I'm like, why? Anyway, and so like I was feeding the cats, and this motorcycle just comes by, and they're like screaming things at me. But anyways, that's the norm, not the unusual. So cute, I thought was an interesting description. So definitely take a look at that. And I wrote about the NFL Women's Forum and what they're doing in honor of Women's History Month this month, in honor of that event and how much they're doing for increasing women.
Oh, could I make a suggestion? Women's History Month.
Yeah.
Okay. Jaron Jackson Jr. His mother is the labor attorney for the WNBA.
Oh, is she listening to Angel Reese or no?
I don't know, but I mean that I thought that's for an NBA player to have a mother that's that far up the food chain in the labor, negotiations is pretty unusual.
All right, I would.
You know, I mean, yeah, Jaron Jackson Jr.'s mom, and his dad, of course, is an ex-NBA champion with the San Antonio Spurs, but his mom is more famous now than his dad. So, yeah,
we love that.
Anyway,
man.
Yeah, and I'm also currently working on an article about has there been more than one voodoo doll in the Kansas City's history, or has that voodoo doll been in practice for many, many years? And yes, we are talking about. We know that Xavier Worthy, the charges were dropped, but the number of arrests and nonsense and foolery over there. So I'm discussing all of that. Is the voodoo doll an issue? So I'll be releasing that this week. It's my controversy of the week.
Is it an issue
That
or is
sounds
it more of
interesting.
a blessing for us?
Oh look, I don't know. I don't want to get voodoo involved, you know? Like, we can leave that out.
Listen, if it stops Mahomes from running the league, I don't care.
Okay.
So
Well,
that's yep. That's
that
what we
sounds
got.
interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
All right. Well, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, ding, and we will see you next week.